Hi everyone and welcome to part 2 of a decade in review. If you've done part 1, you have made a list of all the things that you're proud of that you've done in the past 10 years. And maybe like me, when I did the process as well, you discovered some amazing things that you remember that you've done this year or in this past decade, since 2009, 2010. Or you discovered like me also that, I had so many people who came into my life in the past 10 years that became really part of my family and my circle of friends. You've also looked at all the things that you've learned. So now the next step is it's time to look at the things that you're willing to let go of. And this can be a bit of a tender process, and I really ask you to be gentle with yourself and be kind with yourself and come from a place of self-compassion and curiosity and, connectedness with yourself and others when you go through this. It is really going worth doing because it's a way to start and plan the next 10 years with a clear and purposeful mind. It's a way to unstuck your energy from the past and bringing into the present so you can create a better future for yourself. Okay? So the first section we're going to talk about, which is section 3 today, is create the list of things you're willing to leave behind in this old decade. And I have some ideas of what this could be. So think about all projects and goals. Are there any projects that you need to complete before the end of the year? Clean up, clean out, send that message, send that card, complete as many projects as you can. In Gestalt therapy, they talk about an open Gestalt, and it's kind of like it really is something that uses your energy. So think about that. Do you have any projects maybe on your to-do list or on your goals list from the past years that is a should do that you have been keeping, that you keep putting off? Or are there any expectations from your family, your friends, or your loved ones that aren't true to your heart anymore at this time? So really all of these things, the old projects and goals, are energy suckers. They suck your energy, they occupy valuable mental and emotional space within yourself. So there's many things that deep down maybe projects. I had some projects, things I wanted to do, but deep down I realized at one point they weren't actually really true to my heart anymore. They weren't who I was at the time, but sometimes it's difficult to let go of them because you have these should-dos in your head. But now it's really time to let go of them so you can start the new year with a clear mind, a clear heart, a fresh heart, and really focus on what you want to do for the next decade. So that is part 1. Then the next section, think about resentments, angers, and upsets. Are there any resentments you've been hanging on to for the past 10 years? Do you have any old emotional baggage that you're ready to release at this point? Or is there anybody you need to forgive, including yourself? So this is really a good time to let go of that emotional baggage. We keep on hanging on to resentment far too long. And I know sometimes it can be difficult to forgive, but remember, when you're doing this, you're not doing it for the other person, you're doing it for yourself. Forgiveness is really a way of cleaning and healing yourself and really just say, you know what, it's okay, we're done. It doesn't mean that you condone the other person's behavior when you forgive, but it's just like, okay, the bill is settled, you don't owe me anything, payback, is cancelled. I just, I go my way and you go your way, whatever it is. Self-forgiveness is another point that I quickly want to talk about because that's so very important as well. We make mistakes, we hurt others, we sometimes even hurt ourselves. So when you go through the projects, maybe they're like, oh damn, I really wanted to do this or I want to do that and I haven't done it. And it's very easy to fall into the trap of, beating yourself up. I'm a bad person, I'm lazy, I procrastinate, I never get anything done, blah, 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 blah. So the forgiving yourself is a way to getting out of that inner dialogue or that inner talk. And you say, look, there are things I haven't done. Really review, are there really things you truly want to create for yourself, or is it something that you think you should do for the sake of others? And if it's something you really want to do, then you take it into the next decade and it's something you can plan for. If it's something that deep down you realize, you know what, it's not actually really me anymore, it's time to release and leave it in this decade. Okay? And then the third one, sorry, that's going to be a little bit of a big one, or at least for me that's always a big one. limiting beliefs and long overdue old patterns and old stories. So, what are the limiting beliefs you have been carrying for the past 10 years? What are the old stories you are telling yourself that no longer serve you? And what patterns have you struggled with a decade ago that you hoped you had resolved and released by now? So these are big ones. For example, maybe you've been telling yourself that you're too old or too young to, follow your passion and start that business or take that leap of faith and leave your secure job and start something new. Maybe you thought you need to make yourself small to fit in, to make others feel more comfortable. So you've been dimming your light. I talked about that on my Instagram just yesterday. Maybe you're done believing that everyone else deserves to be successful and happy and prosperous, but for whatever strange reason, you're not. So maybe you're ready to let go of all the excuses and fears that are holding you back from your biggest dreams. Or maybe it's just time to put that crappy old story that you're not good enough or not capable enough to rest for once and for all. So take some time to really go through this and think about the stories. Think about the things that have been holding you back, or the patterns that have been holding you back, and really realize this is a unique time that we're in right now, and it's really an opportunity to also use this energy of this moment to really let go of a lot of those things. Yeah, so if you're really willing and ready, I think a lot of magic can also happen during this time of year. And also because so many people, not just me or you are watching this video, I know all around the world a lot of people are going through this process in their own way. It really is an energy that helps to release all of that at this time. So those limiting beliefs and old patterns don't control your life for the next 10 years. Okay? So once you've done that, again, like in part 1, we're going through the list again and look at the things and what is most important to let go of and why. So you're gonna, for each of these sections that I mentioned, the old stories, the anger and resentments, and the limiting beliefs and patterns, you're going to ask yourself which of these are the most important ones to address and fully release in the next year. Why is it vital to let these things go now? What are the goals, resentments, or limiting beliefs, or what have these goals and resentments and limiting beliefs have really cost you over the past decade? And what support do you need to finally free yourself from these old questions or these old patterns? And really do this from, if you feel like you're getting emotional or you feel like you're getting dense or closing up, then really take a few deep breaths and do this from a place of non-judgment, of curiosity, of self-compassion. And go through this. And even if you feel like, okay, I'm not ready to release all of them right now, really just forming an intention and becoming aware of the things that you need to let go of will gently and slowly start that process, okay? And then this is the groundwork. You're awesome. That's amazing what you've done, all the work, because we are getting on to part 3, which is, of course, creating your 10-year plan for the future. So if you have any questions, please let me know, write me a comment, send me a note, whatever. And please also share what are some of the insights you had. I think for me, the good question, what patterns have I struggled with 10 years ago that I thought by now I'd be done with them? And that was kind of interesting and intense, but it's so wonderful to see all these things come up, and I salute you and applaud you for all the work you're doing. This is awesome, and I'll see you for part 3 in the next couple of days. Okay, take care everyone, bye.